Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst, great Malabite, Emmanuel Efeni. Malabite, action.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning,
Good
Rufa.
morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victoria Tundu. I'm Kyo Abiola.
Good morning,
Yes,
Mr. Fanny.
with your strange colors. We call it brown, you give it another name. Okay.
We have
No,
to be
no,
precise.
this is actually brown.
We have to be precise about the shade.
Okay.
We have to.
Another shade of brown.
Tan brown.
Yes.
Right?
Tan
Just
brown.
tan.
Tan brown.
Tan.
Efeni, please memorize that.
Before she comes with another strange one, I'll try to keep that. Now, let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story. 124 years after Cambridge University hands over Benin bronze Cockerel to Nigeria. Okuko, stolen from ancient kingdom in 1897 by British colonial forces. Lai Mohammed commends bravery of Nigerian students in London University. Yes, it is done. I like that part of the speech. And to other institutions still holding artifacts stolen from Nigeria, from Benin Kingdom. It is doable. And all hands must be on deck to ensure that these artifacts return home. But, of course, yesterday to receive this artwork, the Cockerel, those who were there included Director General of the National Commission for Museum and Monuments, Professor Abba Tijani, of course, representative of the Oba of Benin, his brother, Prince Agatishe Eredawa, as well as Benin Chief Charles Edusonwa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and there was also a representative of the Emir of Kano, as we can see in that front page photograph in this day. Now, the next thing, how do we house or keep properly these artifacts as they start arriving? Yes, Ruben was talking about how museums now becoming pepper soup joints. Well, we recall the quarrel or the altercation in Benin between the governor and the Oba of Benin. But even the National Commission, they are aware that there has to be a museum and the palace as the Oba has proposed, because these artifacts, the Benin artifacts, belong to the Oba of Benin household. And of course, the current Oba, Omonoba Nedo Kwakolokpolo, Eware II, the Oba of Benin, the one I refer to as the most swagalicious Oba. Yes, he described himself as that. So,
Oba Tope.
So it's not like thinking
Sir.
Oba Tope. Yes, so, but what are they doing? Instead of quarreling about location, I think the Edo State government should join the Oba and start building that museum at the location the Oba has chosen. There's nothing to quarrel about when it comes to the location, because we know where these things actually belong, the Oba's palace. But the Oba has, is very magnanimous, going to create a museum where visitors, Nigerians and foreigners alike, can have access to these artifacts when they arrive Nigeria eventually. So kudos. One step forward, the British authorities telling us that an act of parliament is preventing the British from returning stolen artifacts. I'm not sure that's good enough. Acts are not written in stone. So the British Parliament should do the needful. A case of the gown showing the town the way to do things. Return what is stolen. You cannot keep what is stolen forever. Now, if we just look at other newspapers quickly, the Guardian newspaper, ahead of G20 summit, International Labour Organization, others demand COVID-19 vaccine justice. G20 members have received 15 times more vaccine doses than African countries. Of 6.9 billion vaccine doses globally, only 2% administered in Africa. 2.88 million Nigerians fully vaccinated. 1.4% of population. ILO says pandemic impact on jobs worse than expected. Global labor market hamstrung by unequal vaccine distribution. African leaders must demand equal access to vaccine, says Amnesty International, AHF. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper. NNPC gets approval to fix 21 federal roads at 621.2 billion naira. Federal Executive Council okays 4 billion for transmission lines, substations in Anambra, Enugu. Yes, going by that executive order, which the president, executive order 007, yes, which talks about corporate companies tax, road infrastructure development, and rehabilitation investment tax credit scheme. Yes, order of 2019. That is what the Federal Executive Council is using to hand over 21 roads to NNPC. Now, Dangote Group has done the Kaba-Obajana Road. Based on that, the Apapa Oworo-Shoki Road, which is still under construction. Fantastic job they've done there. Concrete roads under that scheme. But giving 21 roads to the NNPC, well, we want those roads to be done. That's what is most important. As the Yorubas will say, the man sees the snake, the woman kills the snake, just let the snake die. I don't want to say that in vernacular because I know I will do it better than some people sitting here. Yes.
In which language?
Obi, ọkùnrin rí ejò, ọkùnrin pa ejò, ejò náà ó ti kú. That is Lagos Yoruba.
Tunde will speak better Yoruba, yes. At least, right? I'm sure of
Why
that.
am I the standard for mediocre Yoruba all of a sudden on this table? I mean, really?
So, yes, so this road should be constructed. Yes, the Calabar-Itu Road is part of this road. But I did not see the Benin Warri Federal Road on that list.
That road is gone.
That road is gone. I'm reminding Mr. Fashola that is a federal road linking two oil-producing states. Please, that road has to be taken care of. Tankers are falling on that road. Don't wait till Deltans and Edolites will go on strike, just like the people did in Mina. And the people are doing at Ota area in Ogun State, close to Ogun State, before the federal government will come and attend to that very important road. The Benin Warri Expressway. Mr. Fashola, we're calling on you to do the needful. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper. Federal government blows 1.35 trillion on fuel subsidy this year to spend another 1.35 trillion before July 2022. Now, I don't know why the federal government had to postpone the removal of subsidy till July next year. Is it for political expediency? I don't know, because if we already have the Petroleum Industry Act, which makes it illegal to subsidize fuel, why are you postponing the evil day? Kicking the can down the road, as Tunde will always put it. Now, the Leadership newspaper, 2022 budget defense. Senate rejects 287 billion loan request for water projects. Coming a day after the Senate also questioned the Minister of Health request for $200 million loan to buy mosquito nets.
When there's a mosquito vaccine.
I thought that should be
Malaria.
where we should be talking
And
about.
malaria vaccine. Sorry.
Malaria vaccine. But to take a loan of $200 million to to buy mosquito nets.
But I've seen a statement somewhere where that was denied, that it is not true, that it's fake news. So maybe we double check.
What are you saying, Ruben? There was a conversation between.
But there was a reporter saying.
If there's a reporter, does not mean it's fake news. It happened.
But it was reported on national dailies.
This is an event that happened at a budget defense. The permanent secretary was the one who was making the defense. And I wonder, where are the ministers in that ministry? Both of them are medical doctors. If you don't put medical doctors there tomorrow as Minister of Health, doctors will shout. Now doctors are there in charge. Minister 1, Minister 2. And you want to use $200 million loan to buy mosquito nets. They said, and medicines.
And there's a malaria vaccine.
Now let's look at the Punch newspaper. PDP moves to save convention, pressures Secondus over suit. We have received no response to our suit, says Oyetibo. Ruling holds today. Don't make our party ungovernable. BOT chair appeals to Secondus. Now, of course, the situation in Anambra Daily Trust. Ohanaeze begs IPOB for peace as federal government insists on Anambra polls. The New Telegraph newspaper, Anambra bows to IPOB, adopts Saturday school, yes, to replace the Monday seat at home. Now, if we look at the foreign newspapers quickly, the British newspapers are reporting the budget. The Times of UK, Sunak's spending spree, while the Daily Telegraph, hey, big spenders, 150 billion spree send spending to the highest in decades. The tax burden heaviest since 1950s. Yet, there's a pledge by Rishi Sunak to cut taxes. But a number of experts, including the institute, members of the Institute of Fiscal Studies, as well as the Resolution Foundation, including the head of the Treasury's own independent forecasting body, they are saying Sunak's budget does not add up.
So, I mean, just some good parts to the budget that really excite me, and I think we can learn from it. In that budget, you'll see that he increased spending for research and development now to £20 billion. I'd like to ask, is there a line item for research and development in our national budget, and how much do we spend on that? Because if we have successive research and development funding and budgetary allocations, I think when we're hit with a pandemic like COVID, we'll be able to react better.
Yes, that's a response to that. But as I was saying earlier, and I know of what I speak, I actually really enjoyed the rebuttal by Rachel Reeves. She really hit the Tories where she had to. She got all moral about it, that they're failing the common man and just kowtowing to bankers and their cronies, which is typical of the criticisms that's made of the Conservative Party. Tory sleaze is actually the phrase that's bandied about quite a bit. And when she talks about rape cases going unprosecuted, that also I found really deeply effective. I thought she was excellent. And especially she had to start,
Rape cases, that's a budget issue, really?
No, it's because of the funding. It's the funding.
The police?
So she's talking about how it affects the average person. And I thought that was extremely important. She did a really great job.
Okay, finally, before we go, I said earlier that there's been a rebuttal with regard to the 200 million naira request for mosquito nets. There was $1 million. There was a statement by the National Primary Health Care Development Agency that says
they are not responsible.
They are not responsible.
They are not responsible.
That
is the ministry that is responsible for putting it there.
That the MPH,
that's what I'm calling on the ministers of that ministry.
It was reported that the MPH-CDA was involved. But in any case, anytime we talk about loans or whatever, it becomes a problem in Nigeria because of the trust issue between government and other stakeholders. And in any case, we hope that
and the National Assembly members,
malaria will not be...
They are asking for evidence of what those loans have been used for.
We are hoping that by now, malaria should not be such a big issue and we'll be taking so much money or proposing so much to buy mosquito nets. Thank you very much.
Well, not to
Emmanuel.
underplay malaria. Malaria kills a lot of persons.
Yes, it's still,
and
a,
of
it's still a
course,
big problem. Okay.
man hours lost to malaria.
Thank you,
Huge.
Emmanuel Efeni. We'll see you again tomorrow.